So let me start by saying that what we do and what I'm really interested in is how students think about mathematical ideas. We've learned that better we can understand how students think about ideas, the better we can figure out how to teach them. Okay? So I'm going to ask you I'm going to give you some things to do, and I'm just going to watch how you solve them.
Okay.
And as you solve them, I'll ask you to talk out loud.
Okay.
All right? Because I'm really interested in how you think. It's not going to be right or wrong answers. It's just going to be seeing how you do it, okay? And if there's any time that you want to stop, you can just say so. It's all up to you, how far we go and how long we go. And let's see. Is there any questions you have before we start?
Not really.
No? Okay. You feel pretty comfortable?
Yeah.
Okay, good. You look like somebody who stays pretty comfortable all the time. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to start with those.
Okay.
All right? And what I want you to do is I want you to just sort them and put things together that you think are the same. So if I just said, put the things together that are the same, how would you do that on there?
Basically like for this triangle, like for the, you'll look at the length of it, and then you can, even if it's bigger or if it's smaller, you can compare it.
Okay.
Because it has the same length.
The same length? Okay. So just grab things and show me the things. If you looked at that whole table, show me the things you would put that you would say are the same.
Okay.
And as you do it, tell me how you're thinking about it.
From this triangle is different from this one because it's a little bit kind of wider than this one.
Okay.
So those two are different. And this one is more longer. So it's different.
And more longer, what do you mean by more longer?
As in it has like the sides or different. And the angles are.
Okay.
And
yeah, make yourself comfortable.
okay. I would kind of put the square with this because you can split it in half and it's the same thing.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And you kind of split the circles away from the ones with the angles.
Okay.
Because circles don't have any angles.
Okay. And what's an angle?
An angle is like whenever it has like a point.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So tell me about those again.
The circles don't have an angle, so you would put it with all the other circles and like separate them.
Okay, so we'll put those over there. Let's get them out of the way. So those are all your circles. All right, now tell me about some of your other piles.
These are the more, the triangles that whenever you turn it, it's the same.
Oh, interesting.
And these, whenever you turn it, it's kind of different.
Uh-huh.
Like whenever it's kind of like a ramp, like you can run up the ramp or something.
Okay. And so all of those are the ramp ones?
Yeah.
Okay.
And this could be more like a wider one. It's kind of like a scale one, because you know whenever you're in the scale, it like goes back and forth.
Like a scale, a weighing scale in the store? Okay.
And
interesting. I get it.
the rectangles,
Mm-hmm.
well, they can really be cut into more rectangles if you cut it the long way, but if you cut it the short way, they become squares.
Oh.
That's why I put them together.
Okay. And if you were to decide to not put them together, what would you decide would you put together as the same? If you decided instead of treating all of them as possible rectangles or possible squares, what would you do?
I'll probably put them with all the rectangles and all the squares.
Okay,
in
well,
different piles.
well, show me how you do that. Okay, and how did you know? How did you know these were squares?
Well, all of the sides are the same, so it's easier. But with this, 2 sides are the same, and the other 2 are the same.
I see. Okay, so a rectangle has 2 sides are the same, and the other 2 sides are the same.
Yes, it's 2 pairs, and this one, it can really be 2 pairs each, and then so these 2 can be a pair, or these 2, or these 2.
Oh, interesting.
Because they're all the same.
So it doesn't matter which
Yeah.
ones you use in terms of the pairs.
Yeah.
That's a very interesting way of saying it.
You couldn't say that they have 4 corners because the rectangle have 4 corners too.
So that's not a good way to differentiate the two?
You have to think different.
You have to think different. Okay. All right. So now I'm going to put these aside. All right. And I want you to look at the rest of the rectangles and see if you think that there's any way that you put certain ones that you'd say would be the same of those. Are you a very systematic person?
Yeah. Like sometimes whenever you're doing math, you can think creative.
Uh-huh.
So it'll give you something different to think about. Like if you're trying to make something in math, you can think of something and then think of something that will, like for a stereo system or something, you would probably use a rectangle because it's like in that kind of shape. Or in a door, you would use one of those.
So do you see math in the world around you a lot?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. Interesting.
Like now at home, I'm doing a math project.
What's it on?
It's on, it's really about yourself, but it has math to do with it. Like you have to put in something about math. Like you have to write some things that you do daily that has to do with math. Like laundry, you have to like amount the powder and stuff that you put in the washing machine. So that'd be something that you do daily with math.
Interesting. Interesting. Okay, so you spread all those out. Now, what do you notice about those? Are there any that are more the same or less the same than each other?
These are more the same because I put them different because it's longer. And these are kind of smaller and kind of wider.
Okay. So show me which ones are together right now.
These 2 are together.
Okay.
Because even though one is bigger than the other, they're still like almost the same.
So tell me about that. I'm confused about the idea that one can be bigger than the other, but they can be the same.
Because of like this, it's almost the same as this one, but it's just smaller.
Okay.
But you can think of it as the same if you add more onto it.
Okay.
So I would say that this is the same because you just probably need a couple more to make them the same.
All right.
Like one there, and then you move it over here. So those to be 2. And then this one right here. And then that one.
I see. Okay. All right. Interesting. Are there any others that could go in that same pile?
Not really, because these are kind of wider. And yeah, like this one.